This is a video response to the latest Art of the Matter by Harun. To start with, I'm a follower of Art Harun and on his Facebook and on YouTube. And this time he invited somebody for Art of the Matter, and I just have to make this video response because, to be frank, I was expecting more. I regard highly of Art Harun, and when he invited somebody, I thought it would be like something he can talk about that can give us a different perspective or a more in-depth understanding of any matter. Yeah. But however, what came out is, okay, I can invite anybody from any cafe and he can give pretty much the same information, same thing. It's things that we all know about already. Stop corruption, like, come on. By just saying the things that you want to say to your prime minister or the past prime minister is stop corruption, come on. He knows that he needs to stop corruption. What we expecting from highly regarded people is more of something than a general idea or general statement like fixing the system. We want to hear something like a solid solution, an idea, viable, realizable idea. So yeah, maybe it was a time constraint. I don't know how much they allocated for Harun and his guests to present, but if it's about time constraint, then just discuss on one thing and one thing only, and get really in depth into that so that people can understand and enjoy the video at the same time, and not just hearing what folks at your nearest cafe is talking about or saying. Other than complaining in his daily job and daily work, he complains about politics or corruption here, corruption there. Come on, it's everywhere. We want to hear something else. Okay, but for example, when he talks about privatization, again he generalized. I mean, I'm just so disappointed. I was waiting for something more concrete. When you talk about privatization, you can't just say privatization is bad or is sinking the money and so on. You have to be precise. Give an example. Is he talking about Bernas, privatization of Bernas, or MAS? I don't know if we can call privatization for MAS because it's being owned by the government, privatized by the government. I just don't really understand that. But anyway, if he's referring to Bernas, for example, privatization, it depends to the product or the service that the company is providing. If the product or the service, the basic foundation of a business is that profit comes first. It makes money. That's the business model. It is there to make money. Okay. However, there are some things that, like Mr. Farid Azad mentioned, to put a country's interests first. So, for a company like Bernas, for the rice, it's something logical that we can think that privatization is not the best, because in terms of rice, we need to look after our farmer first. So it's not a matter of, hey, if Thailand is selling us a cheaper rice, let's go to Thailand. It makes more profit. So for this kind of product, it is at best that the company regards country's interests first, and then probably third or fourth is the profit. So in this kind of situation, privatization is not good. But for privatization, for company that is being sinking our country's money, taking our money on and is competing in the international platform, when profit is actually a motivation for the company to strive, to push itself, then privatization can be something that to be considered of. So you see, you can't go generalize saying privatization is not good, blah, blah, blah. It depends. And this is what I was expecting from a guy invited by Harun to be in his video, like something new, not just a plain complaining. Yeah, and he said he opposed hudud. Explain us why. Give us your opinion. At least tell us, if you want to know more, read my article, blah blah blah, and so on. Instead of just giving a statement like, I oppose, I'm not with hudud. Maybe his perception, maybe he has to pass hudud instead of hudud. It's a lot of perspective that he needs to elaborate instead of just generalizing everything, pretty much everything. And he talks about if he can talk with Mahathir, don't bring in incompetent people. Anybody can say that. Do you have anybody that you want to suggest that Tengku Razili Hamzah? Is that what you want to say? Say something solid. It's just too generalized, whatever that he says. This is just something that even I think nowadays 12 years old can say. Hey, choose the green one, not the red one. Why? He says KLIA doesn't grow. What does it mean? We have KLIA too. I really don't understand. Maybe he didn't prepare before he comes in, but I don't know. I thought they would at least give him a clue of why he's there. He seems quite blurred. But come on, even for a layman nowadays in Malaysia, you give him a spot on question, he can just answer it and give you a very solid, a more precise and tangible answer. And then the other thing is that he also says, stop racism. Are you writing an essay for SPM or something? Stop racism, get down, put things together. Get down who? What? I'm sorry, man, but I expected something more. Give us a real solution instead of a mere complaint. Even from the racist guy on the internet or politician, he will say, stop racism. There you go. This is my personal point of view. Okay, it might be not okay with you guys, but this is an example of someone that I was expecting to hear from. When he says, stop racism from the core, from where we started. I went to a speech by Hairi Jamaluddin where he talks about parallel, two lines that doesn't meet. Okay. And this one Malaysia team together. But if we look back at the core, when kids, for example, 6 years and above, when they were sent to vernacular schools, even there, this is where the parallel line starts. Most of them don't mix with other races, and so they only have a theological idea of how a country should be, which is stop being racist and all, but they don't really practice it. So if I want to give suggestion and so on that I was expecting is, for example, stop these vernacular schools. Let's all build national schools. Just plain national schools. I know people will not agree to that. There will be a lot of clashes and so on. But if you really want to stop racism, if you really want to bring people together, you have to start from the very beginning. Instead of they have spent decades in a condition where they did not mix with other race, and then suddenly they come and meet, they compete with other race, and that a bit too late. That is my personal opinion. I'm sorry if that's kind of things that I was expecting to hear something as a solution, you know, and a suggestion. Question of, you know, in fact, these particular schools, I expected that, okay, those that were built, okay, but in Kuala Lumpur, new development, and then suddenly we hear Sekolah Jenis Kebangsaan, Chinese school will be built in so on, so on, so on. So I was quite surprised. I was like, oh, come on, what is this? I thought Najib already can hear people's voice. Some are voicing out. We are chanting One Malaysia, and yet we are still following the British way. Again, my personal view, that the British actually engineered this to keep us apart, and we are still keeping that system up until now. And yeah, again, this is a kind of speech or thought that I was expecting, that creates discussion, that creates it took longer than I expected. Sorry about that, 12 minutes, but I just want to voice out, you know, because we keep on hearing people complaining. It's been always about that, and we have been really mastered on that, and our viewers are expecting more. And I'm a nobody. I'm just a guy working in a private sector, engineering background, not related or any whatsoever with any political or anything. Doesn't have any interests in any big companies, or again, just a normal guy. We hope next time we can hear something more, you know, something up to the par. Okay, that's all. Thank you.